Welcome! Once you have a deployed distributed XDM server, you might need to make some adjustments. In this video, I will present the available configuration updates. In the lifecycle of an XDM server, deployment of the XDM server is just the beginning of its maintenance. You might want to modify the configuration of the XDM server, or you might need to add a satellite vault, update the software, or finally, you might want to undeploy the distributed XDM server. The good news is that we added post-deployment workflows to the Configuration Manager utility that will guide you through each one of those processes. Let's review them one by one. Modify XDM server configuration. When you click Next, you get the XDM server configuration page in which you can modify the resources that the XDM server is using and the configuration of the applications that are deployed on the XDM server, such as XDM Design and XDM Library Services. For example, you might want to increase the XDM server load because there are more concurrent client applications. Once you are done with all the modifications, click Save and Next. The workflow will lead you to test the pending configurations, and if you're okay with the results and with the timing to run the update, continue to the next step and update the server. It is important for you to know that most of the modifications will require downtime of the XDM server, and therefore you will need to plan and coordinate those with the users. The only modification that does not require restarting of the XDM server is XDM server minimum logging level. If this is the only configuration that you modify, you will see a message in the Actions bar that your XDM server requires a log level update to apply pending changes. The log level update does not require restarting of the XDM server and therefore no downtime from a client perspective. The second post-deployment workflow is to add node host machine. Here are the steps. You have the option to add a node template or review existing templates to verify which one you should use for the new node that you are adding. Next, you configure the new node. This is exactly like you did during the initial configuration of the XDM server. After I save and close, the workflow will instruct me to generate node bundles. This process is creating a new bundle for the newly added node. I should now copy the bundle over to the new node and deploy the agent using this bundle. No modification is needed for the existing nodes or to the master XDM server. Once the agent is deployed, I can remotely run pre-deployment tests of the node and launch the deployment of the node. The last supported workflow is the one to undeploy XDM server and network. It is always a good practice to make sure that you have a backup of your data before starting with the undeployment process. You can do that by running full backup now or full incremental now from the backup menu before starting with the undeployment process. The steps are exactly like we did during the deployment, but now backwards. We will start by undeploying the nodes. Next will take us to undeploy the agents on the nodes. Once this is done, and I have no need for the XDM server network, I can undeploy the master host agent. And finally, I undeploy the master XDM server. In this video, we review the post-deployment workflows that the Configuration Manager provides. You can modify the XDM server configuration, add node host machines, and also undeploy the XDM server and network.